channel. Today we have a guest, and her name is...
I'm Ekany, Lisa's very good friend.
Very good friend. Y'all, today we're going to talk about... It's a surprise. I'm nervous. But one of the reasons why we are friends, the many of reasons why we are friends, we bond over certain stuff, and one of those topics are, friend...
Anxiety.
Anxiety. So we gonna talk, we got some snacks. For this subject, we gotta have some wine because your girl, let's just sit before we start. Friend.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta double do it.
Ooh, okay. Tell them to you, what does anxiety mean?
Well, I feel like essentially everyone has anxiety because it's the human trait. But a lot of people don't know, and then a lot of people is not as severe as others. So little things like shaking your leg, sweating, biting your nails, that's you trying to release your anxiety. To me, anxiety was majorly your mind. Of course, it's a mental thing, but your mind telling you things like, you're trying to tell yourself it's okay, but your mind is constantly telling you it's not okay. Or the worst could happen. Or you need to worry about this. So, like, with me, I constantly was in a worry. And I know you can relate, like, because I know that's how we bonded with anxiety. Like, with you, what are some of the things that you had anxiety about?
My kids. Okay, wait, let's back it up. Before I even had kids. Okay, let's back it all the way up. I just thought I was a worrywart. Mm-hmm. Growing up, everybody knows, Lisa, don't tell Lisa because she gonna freak out, she gonna worry. And then when I got older, I'm like, okay, this is a bit too much, it's exhausting. And sis, I thought I was going crazy. Y'all, I thought I was literally going crazy. I'm like, oh my God. And then when I explain it to people, it's like, they're just saying, girl, you doing too much. Mm-hmm. You tripping yourself out for no reason. Then, when I got kids, y'all, my kids set the rocket off. Like, my kids...
I think kids give everybody anxiety.
My kids make it so bad, and I will flip shit about my kids. And, like, you never stop. Like, you never have stopped. So, when did you realize you was dealing with anxiety?
Yeah, like you said... I've always had it because I always had something I was anxious about. So I noticed it like in college, you worried about your future. But it really became an issue after I became a mom. Mm-hmm. So that was like my biggest thing, like the anxiety of my child. And then I'm a first time mom. Yeah. So of course I know all the first time moms can like relate. And I always blow Lisa up because of course she experienced, I just had my first baby. And I'll call her like, did you do this? Did you do that? Because that was me. I was like, am I crazy or is this normal? Mm-hmm. And then to an extent, yes, natural, but it's like sometimes to others that don't understand, like our spouses, it's like, you doing too much.
Extremely too much. And they Jamaican, so. Okay. That's another topic. Okay. That's another topic.
Because my other thing, you need to probably just smoke some weed. And I'm like, it's more than that. Bun a split. It's more than that. It's more than that. Like, your mind's constantly telling you, like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is going to go wrong.
So, okay, for you, what does anxiety look like?
Me, the panic attack, but that's like the final stage. Working up towards it, it's like the heavy breathing. Then it's like the jitter. I didn't know until I went to counseling that me shaking my leg was like me trying to release it. Yeah. I just thought like, this is what people do. You know, just I'm comforting myself. Yeah. But you're trying to comfort that anxiety. So for me, when I'm at work, because I feel like I left my baby too soon. I worked until the very last day of my pregnancy. And then I stayed home for 6 weeks. And I know most people saying like, oh, I did the 12, I did this, but I stayed home for 6 weeks and I went right back to work. So
that 6 weeks should be hard.
Girl, I wish I could have been a stay-at-home mama then. Like,
and the thing people don't get is, it's like you can't describe it. Mm-hmm. It's like when you said something the other day, like it's stuff. What you say? If I say the stuff I be thinking, people think I'm crazy.
And they be like,
when you say that, yes, extreme. A little extreme, but I was thinking like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. But you know, my mom just never said it. Yeah. So when you said that, I was like, damn, that is true, because the stuff I be around here thinking, I be like, just pray my thoughts away, because Terrell don't think I'm crazy. My mama go, hey, go tell my sister to come check on me. Yeah. But it's real, and like, okay, before we had kids, because we got viewers or subscribers who don't have kids. Before you had a kid, like, what was your coping mechanism?
Well, I would just like cry it out. I would, like my husband said, you know, indulge. So I would, which is not healthy. I'm just saying what I've done. Yeah. So I'd be like, okay, let me have a drink.
Keep out the face.
Let me get an edible. Let me do whatever I can to try to ease my whatever like that. Or I would just cry. And then I also like talk to my mom and then talk to God, of course. But in that moment, I'll be working myself up over like things like college, school, you know, study. If a test coming up, I'm like, oh my God. And then try to find a way. And then also, which is like a pro and a con, because I'm a planner that aids in the anxiety and then it helps. I would try to like plan like, okay, this is what's giving me anxiety. These are what I need to do.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to be right with you. But these are the things that I need to do to try to make sure I don't experience this again. So definitely, but like before you had a kid, because I know we bonded even more after, you know, I had a kid too, and I was telling you over anxiety, but what are some of the things that you had anxiety about before, you know, the kids?
Before the kids, I think just the unknown, the what ifs. Mm-hmm. Just like, okay, he not answering his phone. What if he got into a car accident? Yeah. Oh, my mom not answering her phone. What if somebody kidnapped her? Like,
yeah,
it sounds so bad, but my anxiety stems from the unknown. Like, I feel like I'm a type of person, and I'm working on it. I like to be in control. I like to know, hey, when I call, you better answer, because if you don't answer, I'm sending the APB. Is it APB? Is it APB? APB?
I guess.
What is that alert? You know?
Amber alert? No, that's a kids.
Yeah, I know what we mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what we mean. I'm sending an alert out because, I don't know, I just have to know people is okay. So that's what my anxiety stems from, the what ifs. Like, Lord, this person watching my baby, he answered the phone. What if my baby somewhere underneath the bed? You know what I'm saying?
What do you think causes that? Like,
I don't know. So y'all know.
Well, I think I know for me, like what caused me with my kid, I think it was because like going before me and my husband, we always wanted to have kids. And I'm good with kids, I love kids, and we would have it where we would try to have kids and it never goes through. Like we would try, and then if we end up pregnant, I'll lose it, or something just go wrong. Like I think before this pregnancy, I never made it past 11 weeks. So even when I was pregnant, I didn't know I was building up on top of the hormones. Like, okay, each month, I'm like, oh, I made it to 6 months. I know what I'm having. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm having it. And to the point, like when I was about to push, I'm like, oh God, this is real. I'm about to have a baby. And so then now when he's here, it's like the fear of, it may not make it to this. So I believe that's where it ties in. Because sometimes you have anxiety and it be way more deeper than that. Or subconsciously it's something else. But for me, it was more so like, I don't want nothing to go wrong, because it always has gone wrong when it comes to being a mom or having a kid. Now, before that, I guess it's the same thing like you were saying, the fear of the unknown or just the fear of just whatever. But what caused you to have that fear that sometimes...
It's because the world is crazy. Like, where I grew up, Illinois, Chicago, Joliet, it's like, that's the normal. When somebody answers the phone, they shot. When somebody answers the phone, they kidnap. Yeah, I think so. Because me and Terrell went to therapy, and we did discuss the fact, because he would be like... As soon as I leave the house, you know, if I ain't answering in an hour, then she worried. And it's like, yeah, I'm worried. The world's crazy. So ain't no reason you shouldn't be answering your phone. Not for your wife. You can be answering that phone. Club or not, text me back. But I get if you're in a situation where you can't, then I go like skyrocket. Because then I call everybody and their mama. Hey, you talk to so-and-so? Hey, you talk to so-and-so? So I think my environment where I grew up at, one minute you here, one minute you not.
That could be it.
So it's like, back home, they answer this phone certain number of times, then somebody, they out. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say, but that's the world we live in. And I feel like, I don't think, you think you ever will sort of, I don't want to say get over it, because I know once you got it, you got it. But
let us hope.
but learning how to deal with it, how have you been dealing with it though? Because I can say all day long, you know, I tell you, girl, all you think I know how to do is pray. Pray it away. But I don't want to be religious, because some people, you know, some people are not into it. And also, some people is like, that's not it. Prayer is not enough. And I sort of like...
I believe that because at some point, like, even the good book says, you know, faith without work is dead.
Right.
So, I feel like it's kind of, you know, it's kind of cop out when you do like, Lord, take the wheel, because it's like you exhausted. You feel like you exhausted all your, you know, resources. So you like, hands up, I'm done. But I definitely, and like you said, your last video, a lot of black people don't want to get help as far as counseling, you know, mental illness, and that's the main thing. Like, what helped me, especially like, get your go.
Oh, this is a topic, guys.
But no, all seriousness, definitely talk to someone, get help. If your go-to is religion and spirituality, then whatever works for you, but as far as I say, get professional help, because sometimes you don't know, like I said, it's a subconscious thing is what will cause you to have that. And they can help with coping mechanisms. Like, I know when I used to have real bad panic attacks, I had to learn how to meditate, and because your breathing controls everything. If you in pain, the way you breathe can determine that. Everybody who done had a baby natural know about the breathing technique.
But wait, why are you on the subject of panic attack? Jesus. The scariest thing ever. It's scary. Especially, I seen something on Facebook where it's like the scariest thing in the world is trying to hide a panic attack in public. Girl, I was in Walmart. Child, I was in Walmart and I'm just like, oh, we gotta go. Come on, Taj. And he's like, I want candy. Let me get some candy.
Don't know what's going on.
I'm like, come on, we gotta go. Yeah, I had to go in and cry and pray, because panic attacks, I feel like when I first noticed my issue was anxiety through therapy, I went to therapy and they was like, yeah, baby girl, that's what you got. And okay, I accepted. But the panic attacks didn't come to after my kids. Like, them kids set it off, girl. My kids set it off because the world we live in is so crazy. And it's not even the world. It's like, even if you got somebody babysitting them and you know you trust them, you know they're not going to harm them. It's just that, I don't know, what is that?
Your mind.
Yes. It's just like, it comes up and it be like, even if they with their daddy, Terrell is a great father, but I be like, send me a picture. Text me back. Send me a picture every hour. Like with Taj, my first one, oh my God. I remember I called off of work because somebody didn't call me back.
You know what's funny? Remember when you had Taj and you used to do that, and I used to be like, girl, you doing
got your ass.
You was doing too much. You need to let that man be a dad and not look at me. Hey, answer your FaceTime now.
Exactly, like, it be real. And that's why I said, you know, you never really know until you go through it. So the people who say, oh, just, it'll be okay. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want to be like, you can't give me advice on something you ain't going through. But anxiety is one of those things, if you haven't really, dealt with it, then you're not really gonna understand it.
Or like at least been exposed, because anxiety is hard to explain to your spouse. That be like, ain't never, I ain't seen my sister do that.
That's the subject. Let's talk about that one, because my husband used to be like, yo, you bugging out. Like, you bugging out, you tripping, you need to calm down. But it's not until I went to therapy and the lady, you know, told him, like, yeah, she has anxiety. And he still be like, you bugging out, but...
Yeah. How did you explain that to him when you first found that out?
When I first found out, y'all, like I said, I was in the midst of thinking I was going crazy. I really did. I used to call my mom and was like, something's just not right. Like, and then it's exhausting. Yeah. Literally, it's exhausting. And my mama used to be like, girl, you better pray. But it's one of those things, I believe in God wholeheartedly. The praying, you gotta go a little extra. So when I told him, when I got a little extra, I went to therapy, and then I told him, you know, hey, I want you to come to therapy with me. And the lady sort of explained it, because I was still in the midst of not knowing what was going on. Right. So when the lady explained it, he was just looking like, word. Like, word. You know what I'm saying? But when she broke it down, it was like, it's a trait, it's worrying. And then he was like, yeah, she do worry unnecessarily all the time. Mm-hmm. And he be easier with me. He still be like, yo, you tripping, you need to calm yourself down. Yeah. But he's more understanding now. So now he's quicker to answer the phone, or, you know, quicker to send me pictures of the kids or whatever. That's good. What about you? How do you tell your husband?
I'm still like going through the process, like breaking it down to him. Mm-hmm. But he's definitely like, I don't want to say aiding in it, but when I first went back to work, I was calling every 2 hours exactly. And so for a little bit, he was like, you don't trust me? Like, this is my kid. I'm not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. And so I had to break it down to him. At first, I lied. I'm not, you know.
You lied?
I lied. I said, no, it's not that I don't trust you. I've just been with him for 9 months, and I need to see him right now. Because I've been with him for this long, so I miss him. And I miss you. I have to throw him in there. Make it seem, because he's like, you should be worried. Yeah. Like, you should be worried about him. Yeah. So I'm like, no, I miss you guys. I want to see my guys. Yeah. But no, I finally had to break it down to him, because it was like putting a wear on our relationship, where he's just like, you keep calling, you call him when you sleep, you want to see him, you want me to take pictures, you want me to do that.
You don't trust me to be a dad.
You're not allowing me to be a dad. You don't trust me with him. I have experience. And I explained to him, like, it doesn't matter if he's with you, my mom, even like I explained to Lisa, like, I feel like she's, out of all my friends, I feel like she's an amazing mom. But I can't, it's like going to be a process for anyone to watch him. And like my husband said, like, something bad can happen on your watch. And I still have anxiety when he with me, especially the first couple of weeks, because I'm like, what if I do something wrong, or what if I don't know how to do this? And I've been around babies a lot, but it was just like explaining to him, like, no, it's not you, it's just, I see, my mind will say, I'll go out the door and I'll say, you know, dear Lord, I want to have a great day. My baby's going to be fine. My husband's going to take care of my child.
Affirmations.
And then something, one little piece of thought, and I always say it's the enemy, it'll come in my head and say, your baby just fell off the bed and hit one of them dumbbells your husband be using to work out. And then I'll quickly try to check myself and be like, Lord God, I remove that thought. And then I see it. After that little thought, which is dangerous, it play in my head, I see the vision, then I'm like, let me call. Like, hey, y'all, what y'all doing? The vision pop in my head. I cannot see
something serious.
So it's just like, oh my God, I seen my baby fall off the bed. Let me call him. And I was like, hey, everything okay? And he's like, he's asleep. And I'm like, and then my therapist had to ask me, like, if you call him and he doesn't answer, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling as far as anxious? And I'm like, 15.
55. Okay. Maybe it's 70. I'm exact. Okay. But that be true. Okay, but this is the thing. What do we say to people who think we do it to ourselves? You know how many people be like, you working yourself up at night. You're doing this to yourself. And I be like, people don't realize it's really a mental. It's really mental. No, we're not mentally crazy. But people don't realize it's really, our mind is literally playing tricks on us.
Yeah.
That's how my therapist had to describe it. Like, your mind is playing tricks on you, and it's up to you to, you know, unravel it. So what do you say to those people who just don't get it, who think we're doing it to ourselves?
I feel like for those people, you really got to break it down because they probably didn't experience it before. Like, if you have a deadline to meet, even nothing with kids. You have a project that has to be met at this time. You have a party to plan and you're running around crazy. Have you ever caught yourself where it's like you thought you put some keys here and then you looking around and the keys are somewhere else? That's anxiety, like for that quick moment. Or you know, catch yourself worrying like, oh my God, did I turn off the stove? Did I turn off the stove? Even though you don't do that constantly, that's a quick moment, you know, whatever, where your mind has you at a pace where it's like, this is an issue for you. This is the stimulus that's the issue for you. And your body reacting to it. So I feel like everybody has some form. And even if you're just so zen and peaceful, you understand just like our mind could create a worry in our head, your mind could create, oh, I thought I heard a girl say something about me. You know, something like that.
Okay.
You know, like,
did she say?
Did you hear that? Like, your mind is powerful. So just think about, you know, things like that. Your mind is powerful in a sense. So if it could do all of these things, why would it be so hard to believe that it could create a worry in your mind that your heart sometimes can't handle? You know, you got to think about that. Because my husband, I feel like he thinks like that, like, just don't worry. Or just drop them off.
My sister's like that. She like, girl, are you stronger than anxiety? You can beat this. My sister is a just like, you can beat this. Are you telling me anxiety is stronger than you? Are you gonna tell me? That's how my sister is. And I be like, no. Like, what do you say?
Okay.
No.
You got it. You got it.
But people just, it's one of those things, y'all. I hate to say it. If you haven't experienced it, you're not really gonna understand it in depth. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can help people or whatever, but don't be so quick to just call somebody crazy or tell somebody, oh, you tripping, because they really, you know, they really know.
Yeah.
They really 2 seconds away from panic attack. And when they have panic attack, what y'all gonna do?
Yeah.
Because it's serious. It's serious. It's serious. And y'all, we laughing, and you know, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. But anxiety is a serious thing. And I encourage everybody out there, if you going through something, if you feel like you just don't know what's going on, go get some help. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't let nobody tell you crazy. Go get some help. And friend, one thing I want to say to you is, you know, it's a reason that, you know, God gave us this issue to deal with, because, you know, we strong enough to get through it. And you boss dog, you got your son, and you doing amazing. And, you know, keep pushing. And you guys, if y'all got some tips, because we still learning.
Yeah, definitely.
So drop in the comments if y'all have any tips, anything to help us cope with anxiety, anything. Don't be afraid. Let us know. You got something in closing, honey?
Same thing. Like, just make sure you exhaust all types of resources. Be scared to go to counseling, go with someone. You know, it's always easier to talk to her, you know, opposed to a counselor. This could be counseling, this therapeutic. You know, so somebody express yourself, especially someone that has a kindred spirit where it's like y'all both experience this. So she can always calm me down, even though she's going through something, and that's what always made us closer. With like the passing of my dad, or even me going through this now, she's always, even though she's going through the same issues, been able to say, you know, you got this, put your big girl panties on, you know, take one step at a time, do this. So if you have a friend that you can talk to before, but counseling definitely is a yes. For me, counseling, speaking to other, meditation, definitely. So if you feel like that, that's what I say right now. Again, still learning. I'll let y'all know when I'm 100%.
We'll be back with another one.
Or recap.
I don't want to say that and sound negative. Like, I don't think you'll ever get over it. I just think you'll learn how to deal with it better.
Better, yeah.
Because, I don't know. I feel like once you got it, you just got it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the mommy guilt, that's another topic. Once you have a mommy guilt, you just gonna have to learn how to deal with it. Though.
Yeah.
But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, friend, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bride. You can be the bride today. Let's have another one.
Thank you for my cake.
I know. You don't eat crust?
No, the crust on the bottom.
Oh, she does. All right. Cheers, friend. Cheers, friend.
I was the clink.
You're annoying. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Turn on y'all notification bell so y'all can get notified every time we upload. And I'm trying to convince my girl to get a YouTube. So comment below. Comment below if y'all love her personality. If y'all think she should definitely get a YouTube channel, because I think she should. I mean, she gonna be on there popping with me until she get hers. But you guys comment.